Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me as always is my co-host, Jose
What
Romero.
up, everybody? Fellow nerds out there. Ending the month on a positive note due to a brand new show that came out this week. I'm very excited to talk about that with you. And of course, as always, Peacemaker.
Season premiere, totally unexpected.
Nobody
Nobody
saw it coming. We'll get to that eventually. But no.
Cinderella story.
But yeah, man, how you been, man?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I've actually been doing something for like I struck my fancy. I was like, I want to rewatch all the Marvel TV shows, like binge them in a day. So like
In
one
one
day,
day?
one series.
Oh, like
One day.
One day a series. Okay.
One day a
I think
series,
went all
right,
in one day. I
yeah,
was like, Jesus,
so,
man. That's too
yeah.
much.
No, that's crazy.
Okay,
That's crazy.
right.
Yeah.
That's
So
doable.
far I've only done two because I'm pacing myself, but I went through all of WandaVision, and I
Found Mephisto?
ended up with no Mephisto,
That didn't
no
change?
hype, just watching it to watch it. And I gotta tell you, I actually liked it more watching it again, just taking it for what it is. Also knowing what is not,
Right.
But I did like it. I actually found it a much more enjoyable series. And then I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I got to tell you, it's not as good as WandaVision, but I ended up liking it more than I did originally. And I think it's because, once again, I knew the shortcomings of the show, and so I just got to judge the show for what it was instead of what my expectations of the show was going to be. And ended up enjoying it. I was surprised how much more I liked it and how much I actually liked the dynamic with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie. Really had a really fun dynamic. It's not perfect. It's still upper, lower level of Marvel shows compared to everything else, but it was a much better show than I experienced the first time as we were reviewing it, and we were sort of taking it, in the bubble of the pandemic and everything. I was like, oh, this is good. It plays well.
Okay.
It's really so. I even Walker, U.S. agent, I ended up becoming to me a much more compelling, damaged character than just sort of like the guy we knew was going to break bad. I just kind of took it. I was like, oh, this is so. I recommend. I'm gonna finish the whole series, and every episode I will tell you about two more and what I thought about it. I want to see how I feel on it by the time I get to Hawkeye, to see if any part of that changes or is worsens. And I'm actually kind of just like, maybe one of these series that I liked a lot, but I'm like, it's not that great anymore. But I'm enjoying sort of like just taking the experience in and see what's going on. But definitely WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, very rewatchable. And I don't care what anybody says, I like the Falcon costume, the Captain America Falcon costume, and I'm still up for it. I know some people are like, oh, let's do this. So I
didn't mind at all.
really liked it. I liked it even more. I thought, mind you, I know that when they do the movie version, as they get better every time remaking the costume, like you look at Cap's first costume from like the first Avenger all the way to Endgame, and it's night and day. So I'm looking forward to like the place where they tighten things up and they revise it, make it a little smoother, a little slicker. I'm looking forward to that because it's only going to look better. So yeah, I recommend watching both those again if you're so inclined to. Definitely a good rewatch.
Yeah, I mean, I may do that one day. I don't know. It's too soon. I always like to wait a little while, kind of revisit back in a few years and kind of see what's.
I'm still hurt inside. It's too
soon.
I have to give myself a little.
Like, the pain's got to wash away now. I actually like Falcon. I think probably a little bit more than you did when I first watched it. But no, okay, that's interesting. Okay, cool. What do you think about Loki? That's the one I think on a rewatch to see how you feel about that one. I like Loki. But yeah, I can see. Like I said, you're right. With expectations tapered or whatever, things always change, and it happens all the time with movies too. Some movies we like, we watch it again. Now, what the fuck was I thinking? Or vice versa. This shit sucked. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. Happens all the time. With Hawkeye, I'm sure it's still going to be shit, but whatever.
I like it, so I almost feel like there should be a challenge. Like, you let me know when it's enough time for you.
I need a lot of time for that. That's like a
we-
definite family with Hawkeye. I need
listen,
years and therapy, and then maybe maybe I'll get around to it.
Who hurt you, Jose? Who hurt you? Where did the bad man give you a bad critique?
Damn, Hawkeye, bastards. But we are close to Moon Knight. Another show. Hopefully, it's good. I don't know.
Oh man, super excited.
I did hear the
super,
writer. It's
super
not much of a story because it's whatever. We knew Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out, but the writer of Moon Knight is writing this as well. Who also wrote the Umbrella Academy.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love the Umbrella Academy, so that's for sure. I mean, you haven't seen Moon Knight yet, so the judgment's out, right, pending. He also did Fantastic Four, to be fair, but whatever.
Listen,
but I'm not going to put that on him. You're right. You're not going to hear home runs all the time. But Umbrella Academy, great. It's a great show. If Moon Knight hits, then yeah. But either way, I caught that the other day on that. But like I said, they can't get worse than I kind of like. I didn't mind the first Marvel. It can get worse. I didn't mind the first one. I thought it was fine. The new version, not the original. It was fine. So whatever. I don't need a writer. It's just make a fucking tournament and have them kick ass. That's all you gotta do. It's not that hard, dude. It's not. It's not really a hard nut to crack. It's not the tournament. Winner gets this. Okay, go. That's all you gotta
do. Give me two characters that look almost the same but they're different colors. Make them hate each other.
Yeah, someone's head gets ripped off and whatever. Great. I don't need that. Just keep it simple, please. Mortal Kombat is a movie which is impossible to be great. It's just not because the story doesn't lend itself to it. Just make it entertaining, cool action. Good visuals, done. That's all I want. All I want.
And until that happens, Sonic the Hedgehog will be the greatest video game movie of all time.
I don't think Mortal Kombat's going to be even if just give us that, it's just going to be really cool. It's not going to be a great movie, but it's going to be really cool. But whatever, that's another story for another day. That being said, let's get down to not a big week this week at all. So we got a couple of stories that I managed to pull out, and this is a funny one. This is an interesting one because it's not really like a nerd thing, but when I thought about it, I'm like, well, you know what, Marvel in the past has been guilty of, misleading is the right word, but whatever. They put stuff in the trailers that aren't in the movies, or they manipulate some of the scenes. We saw it in Spider-Man. We saw it in
Infinity War had that group shot that never showed
with the whole So there's scenes that pop up, but a lot of movies do that though. To be fair, Star Wars did it. Rogue One put a bunch of stuff that wasn't there. There's things that come to mind. But either way, so apparently someone got fed up with that. So somebody filed suit. Ridiculous. I keep thinking like Kramer and what's this guy's name? The attorney Childs, is that his name? Is it egregious?
Oh yeah,
it's just exactly what Kramer would do. So basically, I guess somebody caught the trailer for the movie yesterday. Good movie, by the way. Good small movie. I forgot who starred in it, but I think Lily James, is that her name? Either way, irrelevant. So the movie came out a couple years ago, whatever. It's now on Amazon Prime. So I guess someone saw the trailer and then they caught a whiff of, Amy de Armas. Of course, she's kind of becoming a name now. She was in James Bond recently and all that. So Cuban actress, good for her. And so I guess it's a scene that she's in, but in the movie, she's not in it. So I guess maybe it was edited, cut, or whatever. So somebody, I guess, felt misled and now is filing suits because the trailer did not reveal what the movie actually promised, and that is an appearance by Amy de Armas. This guy has the gall to file suits because the trailer showed an actress's voice in the movie. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
It's curious to see what happened. I was talking to an attorney. At my day job, I work with a lot of attorneys. I was asking, I was like, they were laughing. It's like this. It's ridiculous, right?
Merits?
And hey, listen, every suit can have its merits, but they said, listen, even if whoever wins, they can see it being awarded the $3 rental fee back. And that's it, right? Anything more than that, they'd be shocked. But if you never know, whatever, worst case scenario, God forbid this guy's awarded a lump sum of whatever amount, that really puts every studio on notice because, everybody's going to be like nitpicking the trailer and ensuring every scene shows up because God forbid the floodgates are open because of this.
Okay, so listen, if the only way this works is on the merit of quote unquote false advertising. That's the only way this shit works.
Right, it's only grounds anyway.
Right, but false advertising is for the function of a product. Like, this will clean your car. This made my car melt. Like, now you false advertise. I'm going to sue you for $1 million because your product did nothing that it was promised.
Correct.
That I understand.
Sure. That's and
But a
that's
movie
fair.
trailer. Now, was she advertised as part of the movie or as the main actor?
I haven't seen. She was just featured in the trailer. I don't think I haven't seen the trailer personally. It's Anna de Armas. I said Amy. I don't know why. My apologies. I think it's a scene that I didn't see the trailer, but I know I heard it was described in an article I read that she's in it talking to the main character in the movie. And that was it, right? They didn't say.
But that's you that doesn't
It
count.
really doesn't count. It
If
happens
you
all the
said-
time. You know.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, I can understand the only way this would have any kind of merit is like, oh, this movie stars Harrison Ford, and then this movie has everybody except Harrison
Yes.
Ford. Like, that's a sense of false advertising. I can understand it, but if you're like a bit role, people get cut out of movies all the goddamn time.
Happens all the
I know
time.
people who thought they were going to have a big break, and then they got cut out of the movie.
And she wasn't.
So,
Yeah,
they
she
got cut
wasn't.
out.
I'm not saying she's big now, but she's bigger now. She's a known quantity. Back, she wasn't even when she did yesterday. She
Okay.
wasn't Anna de Armas, right? Nobody knew who she was for the most part, right? And she saw it was a knock with Keanu Reeves. Terrible movie. I still liked it, but it's terrible. But that being said, it's not like, yeah, you're right. It's like, oh, Tom Cruise Mission Impossible when you walk in it's Jim Carrey. It's not they didn't do the bait and switch here. And we've seen that. I think Mission Impossible 2 is another one where I remember the trailer featured Anthony Hopkins a lot. And he is in the movie. But for like 5 minutes. Right. So but he's in it, so whatever. Take that for what it is. She's not in it at all. But
technically, Mission Impossible 2 and Transformers both can say Anthony Hopkins has been in our movie.
God, Anthony, what do you think? You're better than that, man. God damn it.
Sometimes you need a fourth.
You gotta
pool.
eat. I get it. Guys gotta eat. Silence of the Lambs only takes you so far. So I can't hate. So it is what it is. But yeah, so this is so. I'm actually want to follow this because there's no way he wins. This it's not gonna happen. If he does, it'll be a joke. It'll be like, just get your fucking refund. Like, what's the deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, just get a refund. That's it.
Yeah. Or leave it a 1-star review.
She's not in it. That like, what kind of damages? Like, what is it that you feel you owed because an actress was not in the film? I can't even quantify. Okay, she's not in it. I should get $20,000.
What if he's like a weird, demented super fan, and because she wasn't in it, he's like, I can't please myself if she doesn't show up in the movie.
What is this Beatles song in it? What is this
am I
nonsense?
supposed to do?
Fuck this crap. It's so retarded. It's really bad. And this is probably as bad as lawsuit as I've seen. And there's been some shitty ones. But this one?
I listen, wow. I don't know the ins and outs of like frivolous lawsuits, but I know there are many. This one, as soon as I saw that, I was like, first of all, every Marvel fan is owed $1 million.
That's what I'm saying. Could you imagine that? That's what I'm saying. What would happen if this is true? Then, Infinity War, wasn't the Hulk running down? Oh my God, my expectation.
Dude, the Marvel's been doing this since Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it's just that's like the MO, which I get because they want to secrecy and stuff. I get all that. I don't care. Whatever. I mean, just don't give us. Yeah, again, don't promise us Tony Stark and he's not in the movie at all. That's cause for concern.
Then until then no, you don't. Your bit part. I'm sorry, they didn't work out.
It is cutting room floor. It happens all the time. All the time. So this is hilarious. It's ridiculous. Next one here, and it's my personal favorite.
Okay.
The Rock. Movie ketchup,
Mr.
if you will, who's going to bring his talents to the video game world again. And yes, I know he's giving
Rampage, Doom. What now?
Yeah. So now, and there was in an interview, and I guess he did announce that there's going to be an announcement coming. So he announced the announcement of his new video game movie, and he talked about, and I'll quote here, we're really just going to make, I lost it here, but we're going to bring one of the biggest, most badass games to the screen, one that I've played for years. They plan to do it right by our gamer friends, etc., etc. We're ready to make a great movie. Of course, no, who was he going to say I'm making a shitty movie? So he didn't say what it was. So I figure, we're gamers here, and a little fun here. We know he says it's one of the biggest, most badass games. Okay, that could mean a lot of things, and he's played for years, so it's obviously a long running time. So
here we go.
I got some ideas, but go ahead. Just what could it be? What would you want to see him do, video game wise?
It's a WWF game.
The Rock as himself.
No, The Rock as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What about Vince McMahon? That'd be interesting. I mean,
Oh man, I don't know. A little part of me wanted to say Halo right off the bat.
I thought,
but
yeah,
Halo's got the TV series coming.
I thought the same
Plus.
thing, but yeah, you're right. The show's coming out, so it's not that at all. Yeah,
it's not that. If he said he invites people over, it's got to be a multiplayer, because I could say stuff like it could have been the what am I drawing a blank on now? Castlevania. Castlevania is a fun game to play, really big, but it's also a one player. You don't invite people over to play.
Yeah, that's not I don't think that's I love Castlevania, but I don't think that's. If he's gonna say it's badass, it's big. I mean, I would assume it's a game. Even a casual fan or the non-gamer will probably know just by name. I'm thinking, right?
What if? Okay, bold prediction. The Rock is Super Mario and Super Smash.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. It'd be a terrible movie, but it'd be a bad movie with The Rock, little ketchup. It makes it tolerable.
No, it would be an amazing
It'd be a tolerable movie because of The Rock.
Are you kidding me? It'd be yeah. Obvious. I mean, clearly.
Oh my
God! But he would rock that mustache like it's nobody's got that business. A 6'5"
It'd be
Mario?
him and Kevin Hart as Luigi.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wouldn't, but whatever.
Magical.
Bring it on.
And I would petition Dark Horse candidate, but I would love Lucy Liu as Metroid Artemis. Like that would be like I would love to see that. And then, go typecasting and get the guy who played Legolas to play Link. Like, just do that and build from there. And just,
kind of like a little, not say watered down Mortal Kombat, but along those lines. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Something ridiculous but fun. Like if you're gonna try to turn that into a movie, you have to go balls to the wall and insane.
There's two things that came to mind. Halo 3, but that's not gonna happen. Call of Duty came to mind, right? The obvious choice, which I would hate because Call of Duty is just any war movie. I mean, you can call it Call of Duty. Right? There's nothing stands out, but it's possible. Right. They can call it, or
what if
God of War is the one I thought of? Him playing
God
Kratos.
God of War is pretty good, but but that's a single player.
I don't think he mentioned specifically friends. He's just talking about friends or whatever. I don't think he said he wants to do right by our gamer friends.
What about modern
Call of Duty? That's what I'm saying. But
right, but
like, futuristic. But it'd be just like a typical war. I don't think that's like I wouldn't care. Like okay, I guess it'd be like Doom. We know how that turned out, I guess. First person shooter.
Right.
And he's Kratos, him playing Kratos. He's got the physical build to play that,
Oh, fuck. Wait, I just thought about it. Fortnite. Because he's in Fortnite.
Kind of. Yeah, I guess they can do kind of what Free Guy did, somewhat. It's possible.
Yeah, but almost, it's almost Free Guy meets Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, that could work. Keep it light. That could work. I'm curious because listen. Listen, you can get like I don't know Frogger for all we know. Who knows? Cubert. That would be awesome. The Rock as Cubert.
The only thing I'm thinking for is because he's literally a character in the game that is integral
and that's big. It's a big game. People know Fortnite. I don't play it, but
it's a big game. It is a big game. So I think we may have.
Yeah, kind of curious. Yeah, now I'm really curious. I know the movie's gonna be shit because it's a video game movie. Let's be honest. But
it's no Sonic.
I just kind of curious what this badass is. I hope this word's come to fruition. It's not as bad as he fucking puts on like My Little Pony, some stupid game.
We brought it down. We brought it down to either Fortnite, Modern Warfare, or Super Smash Bros.
God of War.
That's it. It's one of the three.
Good movie. I don't think they're gonna make a good movie out of it, but it could make a good movie.
Yeah. Okay. God of War is.
I'm kind of curious. Of course, we'll probably be wrong. He's doing something completely different. Skyrim or some shit. I don't know. What?
I listen. I've made a lot of bold predictions. I feel very confident about this one with nothing to go on.
What about
but I feel very confident.
Jedi Fallen Order.
It's one of those four.
That would be amazing.
Oh my god!
Which just announced part 2, by the way. So I'm very excited about that. EA. So yeah, can't wait for it. It'll be a couple of years, but whatever. Who cares? Great game. You haven't played it yet. You're a Star Wars fan. come on, must play easily. Yeah, it's fantastic.
On
But that being said, those are the nuggets. It was a light week, but we did get a huge surprise on Wednesday. You know, turn on Disney Plus, expecting to see maybe a mediocre, maybe a good Book of Boba.
Book of Boba.
Apparently not. They gave us the Mandalorian 2.5. The prequel to season 3, the setup. You know,
the episode
3,
1,
right? So
season
I'm like,
3 of the Mandalorian.
Right in the beginning, which they
right
kind of hinted. I mean, they hinted that he was going to show up, obviously, with last episode, the wedding. So we knew it was. I thought, you know, he's going to show up in some battle or whatever. Which again, he's going to. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, okay. But boom, from the beginning, you hear the song, and like, oh shit, there he is. Like, yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard returned to direct, and who out of the two Howards, unlike her dad, she can actually direct a Star Wars.
My friend.
That's neither here nor there.
But to be fair, she wasn't brought in the last minute, so you got to give credit.
No credit. He's an experienced director. He Robert Rodriguez that, but that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, she came in. I think it's the 3rd episode of Mandalorian she's done. I think she did 2 in the past. So she knows what she's doing, and it clearly shows she knows what she's doing, right?
It shows.
But yeah, so this is not. I don't care what anybody says, because I heard, it's a great episode of Book of. This is not a Book of Boba episode at all. This is the Mandalorian, and it was great.
It is the best episode
easily,
from the series.
Right? and let's talk about before we get into the show, because obviously I haven't been behind the show. You have, fine, fair enough. But this show just highlighted the issues of Boba Fett, right? I mean, and this just one episode, we got so much mythos, story that we just haven't seen character. We haven't seen in 4 episodes of Boba Fett, and we got the best action scenes were from this episode, in 1 episode.
Not only look. I watched this show. The 2 things that became abundantly clear is like, wow, that's what a fight scene looks like.
Yeah.
And number 2, wow, that's how a fast thing looks like. There was speed and violence.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's just like, and it just, man, Boba Fett. I mean, and just Mandalorian is such a great character. I mean, he's a badass, man. He's the guy Boba Fett should be. It's a fucking badass. And mowing guys down, and you had the Darksaber was a great opening sequence. I mean, come on, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something. Mandalorian was made because they weren't sure they can make Boba Fett work. And the sad thing is they've made Mandalorian work so well. Boba Fett is now struggling
to
keep
comparison.
Up
in 1 episode. That's all it took.
It like in that 1 episode, they did so much. Like the fight scene, like I said, the intro scene invoked your classic like crime, like underworld violence scenario takedown, very Star Warsy. It showcased something that Star Wars fans all know about, like why are Jedis why are people with the connection to Force so dangerous, is because they can learn how to use a lightsaber and never cut themselves. And what happens when somebody who does have the Force does it? You get Mando, where it's like and that struggle, as badass as even that weapon,
right? And I love how they showed that. That was because they never. I mean, we haven't seen this weapon in this form, I guess, just in the comics or the cartoon. But it was really cool. Like it felt heavier and heavier as he used it, and what's her face is explaining to him that he has to work with it, not against it, whatever. But that was a cool aspect. I liked that. That was really cool. And little tidbits like that, I thought that was awesome. And we learned about his home planet, and even the big guy was like, that's part of his lineage or whatever. Going to fight, I mean, it's just God. And then now he's no longer a Mandalorian, which is really cool.
Which by the way, that it was played and voiced by Jon Favreau.
I did notice that, yeah. So,
which was really cool, and then seeing one of the things, and as a fan of movies and TV, how great was that 2-minute shot, uncut, of him just walking into the elevator, dropping off the head of the dude he killed, getting paid, getting information, going back to the elevator, and then I was like, that is you being so confident as a director that you're like, we're going to show you how in those 2 minutes we're going to take it to 3 different locations, and make you feel like you're there and never break. Like it was so well. I was like, oh man, it got me
can tell
excited.
she knows
just seeing how
to
they
handle
shot
this
the whole
material and do it well. Unlike Robert Rodriguez, who struggled, which surprises me. It really does. And it just highlights, not say incompetence, that's not a good word, but he's not up to snuff with doing something like this. He's just not. And this is proof of it, right?
Yeah. I you know what? I think it has to maybe just a little bit of ego, because Bryce Dallas Howard is coming in there to create a thing, and Robert Rodriguez wants you to create a thing through his stylistic point of view instead of just creating the thing. Like, we like you as a competent director and a writer. You're not writing, obviously, you're directing all this, you're executive producing. So create the thing that we know. You put your little slants on it, like lean into the violence, lean into the quirky characters, but make it look and feel like the thing. Not your thing.
Right, yeah. It's part of a big picture, right?
And I feel like
it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it's part of it, and I think there might have been a little bit of production
maybe
ego
something went on, or
Robert Rodriguez's side.
And again, I go back to maybe the material is just not that good. I don't know. Maybe it's part of it, right?
I you know what? Watching, because all the episodes have been written by Jon Favreau.
Yes. Yeah.
So if it's all the same writer, the only difference comes down to is direction.
No, I think that's part of it. But again, being the writing, like I said, the story just wasn't coming along. And here, when we get so much story in this one episode, right? And it's like, man, it's like they set up so much, right? Now we know what the third one's going to be about, right? And now it's confirmed that Grogu's going to come back, which they can't do a show like Grogu. I kind of like not having him there for a little bit, because it was still kind of cool. But let's be real, Grogu he's the main attraction. Let's be honest, right?
I think that he will. Grogu will not be as heavy, part of the next season. I think that a piecemeal him, but he is a key component of the dynamic of the show.
Get him, whatever. He has to go do that trial thing under the water, right? Back in Mandalore. So it set it up. It's perfect, right? Now we can start season 3 and then and hit the gun running, the jets running, right? Because we don't have to spend time with setting it up. It's been set up, so that was a smart way of doing it, which is great. But yeah, man, I like, and even like the ship was really cool. The Nabooian ship, or Naboo, whatever.
That new ship. Talk about
a lot of fan service there, but whatever.
That's one thing I really do appreciate. I appreciate what Favreau and Filoni do, which is taking stuff from the prequels that we all eventually became resentful or crapped on, and showing, he goes, no, it's actually cool. Like, if you can get your head out of your ass, it's actually kind of cool. Like you said,
there was speed. You felt the speed.
There was speed, baby.
Like, that's speed. That's the way the other scene should have played out, right?
And by the way, what am I wrong for seeing? To me, I felt the show had a lot of different homages in different sections of it. Like in the beginning of the show, when he murders the dude on the bounty, it feels like a bit of a crime, seedy underbelly, and then it switches over, and when he's walking through the city, I was like, oh shit, that's like Halo, like that space station was in. I was like, that's, a little bit of Halo-ness. I kind of like that. And then from there, it goes, when he starts building the ship, it kind of made me feel like this was Bryce Dallas Howard's homage to her father, Ron Howard, being in the movie American Graffiti, where they had race cars. Yeah. No, Race, which is the first movie George did. So I feel like that was a weird sort of like interconnectivity between one thing and the other, where you're just kind of like, this is a nice homage. And when the Mandalorians were telling about their history, it felt like a Terminator.
Yeah. You're right. When you're showing them getting wiped out or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, when it was just walking around murdering and then whatever. I was like, oh man, like there's so many homages to things that were either stuff that eventually inspired or like tangentially connected to the Star Wars universe, or stuff that is that is similar, but we've never seen. Like, imagine if the prequels android violence looked like that 3-minute segment of them just walking around and murdering. Like, you know how powerful those prequels would have been? Like, we're like, this is not a joke, guys. This is a war. This is a clone war. It would have been great. So showing the realness of the Star Wars world after the prequels. Like, it gets dark. Like, it is. I loved all the different homages and feelings, and it still got to be silly.
Yeah.
And so, like, like when Mando had to take all his
Yeah, I know.
weapons out to go on
It's
the
like, damn.
commercial airliner. That's but to me, I enjoyed that just as much as when Boba Fett was chasing that little mouse droid at Jabba's palace. But what's the difference? The direction, how it
That is
made you
direct. That I'll give
feel.
you that. That
The
part of it is right. It's storytelling. Where that scene is injected
That's
in,
all
absolutely. Like,
editing and
that is
direction.
all direction. So, but listen,
And so that's what I'm saying. I feel like there might be, we joked around a little bit about it. Like one of the episodes we liked so much about Boba was
right, I
not
think it was
directed by
the second
Robert
one, was it the
Rodriguez.
third one? I forget. It's like the
In
second, right?
is
The
I
third
think
one
the
was back to
second
Rodriguez,
one,
which I didn't like. The second one wasn't, which I thought was
right,
probably the best one. This doesn't count, right? Out of the 4 episodes, and yeah, it was not,
right.
Rodriguez.
So I feel like there's something about there's something about the
Yeah,
visual aesthetics and the direction that make the
yeah, it
Mandoverse
just works.
go a
Yeah,
long way. And I feel like that's something that's
absolutely.
missing from Boba Fett. And the only reason I realize it now
But
is
but that's
because
what
of
I'm
this
saying from the
episode.
beginning. It just wasn't clicking together, right? And this is a great way to, which is it's kind of. I mean, I don't know why this episode was in here. To be honest with you, I'm glad it was, but listen, it was. I mean, it would have been cool just to release like a
Maybe
special episode, 6 months before, just to kind of get the beak wet. That would have been kind of cool, right? But whatever. It's just odd because it's 7 episodes, right?
maybe
And this was the 5th one, and this one doesn't even count.
right.
Really, it's exact.
So
Right,
really
and
it's
we haven't
six. So really it's
seen the
six.
villain, right? We haven't got a sense of a complete story yet, and it's only 2
Right.
left. I'm like, so what are we waiting? That's what I'm saying. That's what issue with the show of Mando. You know what's going on from the get go. It's clear.
And I gotta tell you, there is one part that leaves me a little questioning here because Fennec Shen goes to hire Mando, and it was really cool. Mando's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
man,
this is
yeah.
for Boba. This one's on the house." I was like, "Cool, I like that." But then he says,
Yes.
"I gotta go take care of it. I gotta see a little friend first." So like, so you're not even gonna be here for episode 6. You'll show up
With I
halfway
think he's gonna
episode
show up with
7.
Grogu. I think I got a feeling they're gonna show up.
You think so?
Maybe not, but I mean, because he's like, I have to go see so. So obviously, yeah, he's not gonna be in episode 6.
Listen,
Clearly, we know that's not gonna happen, right?
I would be more impressed if he
No,
showed up.
that'd be fucking awesome. That'd be badass.
Because he's
It would,
Tatooine. So,
amazing. But let's see. But you're right. So now,
yeah.
I mean, let's see what episode 6 sets up. Look, at the end, I'm sure the end is gonna end well. I mean, cool battle. Mando's gonna show up in the end. Maybe Bo-Katan or whoever, whatever. Fine, like a Avengers kind of thing. Towards you, great. It'll be cool looking, but again, if it's not set up right, it just loses something. Because these guys, we don't know who these guys. The Pike, we seen them walking around. We don't know anything about them. It's like, okay, they're just there.
They're more
they're
of
cannon fodder.
They're less. The Pikes are less a villain of the story and more like the goal.
Right, and that doesn't always work, right? It's got to be done in a certain way. So I'm curious how this ends. I mean, like I said, great episode of Mando. I'm hoping, I don't know, we get something good out of. Oh, you left for a second. There, you're back. I'm curious to see where they go. I think this episode is gonna. This may be a setup episode. I don't expect a lot out of this next one. I think we're gonna get the big bang in the end with Mando showing up to save the day or whatever with the Naboo ship, and I'm thinking Grogu would be awesome because he's leaving to go see Grogu. I'm sure we're gonna see that in Mando. I would assume they're gonna, circle back to that his encounter with him at some point, right? Whatever, I guess. If you know what, to be honest with you, just give him one episode of Mando. Episode 6, make another Mando. That's all I care. I mean, am I wrong here?
You know
what I'm saying?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Fuck it. And let's do 7, conclude whatever this is, and whatever. I'd be totally fine with it. At this point, whatever.
I would be. I listen. If anything, what Boba Fett series has made me realize is I miss Mandalorian. That's
you're right. That's all. This
Yeah.
all served to do is remind us how good Mandalorian is. That's what this.
Yeah,
and that's, I guess, whatever. Fine. It's just odd. It's just
you
an
know
odd
what?
show.
I guess the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
No, Mando over. Whoever thought, right? Even, like you're right. Even before watching Mando, we heard it was coming out that the character Mandalorian will, supersede Boba Fett, the character we've known for
right now
years, right?
Like.
And it's like, but who cares? Mando, it's just a better character. He's just. It is
right now.
is,
you're absolutely right, and it sucks because he's exhibiting so many of the characteristics we've associated with our idea of Boba Fett.
Exactly.
But at the same time, there's also the issue of of there's more to him than Boba Fett, and that's what we like him more because he's giving us what we wanted, and there's a whole other part that we never knew, and that's really interesting, and it's a little bit of a bummer to realize that this.
I mean, like, listen, it's a show could end great, and that's fine. I'm still not going to consider it a great show because a great show needs to be consistent throughout, right? To a great show, it can end well. We can be happy, fine, and I hope it does. I really do because I want this to be good. I don't want Bubba to suck. I really don't.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just not Mando. This is behind. It's not Mandalorian. That much is abundantly clear.
But to not to sound like a condescending parent, but it could be if it applied itself.
Well said. That's it. Let's move on to Peacemaker. This is the only week I would say that
this was a great week.
It was a great week. And usually Peacemaker is the one that kind of lists our spirits after Boba.
Yeah.
Unnecessary this week. But yeah, Peacemaker is back. But before we get to the show, because there's a story which I saved for this, an interesting story about Peacemaker. Now, this really surprised me. Where I guess this is an independent company that does this kind of studies and as far as the streaming and popularity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Parrot Analytics is what they're called. Legitimate, right? They have no horse in the race, so it's not like it's paid by Netflix or Disney Plus. So they did a study, and Peacemaker apparently, shockingly, is in more demand worldwide than even Boba Fett, and which is surprising because usually I've been kind of following it. The Marvel shows, Star Wars shows, always at the top. Right, followed by whatever else, which is, I get it, because Marvel is the biggest thing, Star Wars, who are we kidding, right? Sure. So see Peacemaker kind of take the spot, and I'll clarify because not in total views because it's much more, there are many more Disney subscribers. So Boba Fett's getting watched more, but per ratio of subscriberships to views, overall demand, whatever, Peacemaker is higher, and I think it's... it has 69.5, what a perfect number for Peacemaker. 69.5 times more in demand than the average series. The study done by Parrot Analytics measures audience demand by taking the overall popularity of a TV series into account. The series beats out The Witcher and the Book of Boba Fett, for example. So, and the demand grew by 39.2% as far as the viewership for HBO Max. So yeah, this is a surprise because, listen, Suicide Squad. I love Suicide Squad. We both did. But it was a flop. Let's be real, right? It didn't do well, right? It didn't.
There's a lot of different factors that attribute to it, but yes.
Yes and no. I mean, Jungle Cruise came out to.
It was early. It was early pandemic. People weren't really sure. There's a lot of
things, but I mean, listen, it got engrossed by the Jungle Cruise. I mean, that says a lot. That came out a week before, 2 weeks before. So,
but it had The Rock in it, so once again a lot of false equivalences.
That's fair. But it underperformed.
A lot of unknown characters, except for Harley Quinn, really was the one character that people could kind of attach to.
But listen, it bombed. You can throw a bunch of numbers out there. It didn't do well at all. I don't know how the stream, because HBO Max, every streaming service keeps this shit quiet. Fair enough. So we don't know how good it did. It probably didn't do great because they would have said, "Oh my God, Suicide Squad," number one show on HBO, whatever.
I'll tell you this though. I guarantee you, because of Peacemaker, people are watching the Suicide Squad now.
They may be, yeah. So I'm surprised that this show is. I mean, it's good, but so is Suicide Squad, right? So it's not. I don't think it's about the quality. It's about. And this goes back to what I've been preaching. Goddamn Netflix, pay attention. This is what happens when you release a week-to-week show, because the show's numbers, I read up in this too, has been increasing every week. Why? Because people talk about it. So, I want to see what's coming out. Let me catch up real quick. There's only 2 or 3 episodes to catch up. So next week drops. Oh, how cool is Peacemaker? The conversation continues to go for 8 weeks as opposed to a weekend. This would have come out on Netflix, all 8 episodes. We would have loved it. Oh my God, great show. And then next week we're talking Boba Fett, whatever, right? Witcher, whatever the fuck comes out. And it's so good for them, because for us it's great because that could spell a second season, which I was really worried about. I wasn't sure how people were going to watch the show or not, so it seems like they are. So I'm happy about that. I haven't made an announcement yet, but I think this is a sign that maybe we probably should get us an announcement.
Listen, there's also I'm not sure if it's confirmed or it's a rumor that HBO Max has already approached James Gunn to do another HBO Max series on another DC character.
Yeah, we talked. We mentioned that. Yeah, he's got something else in the works. So that's in the works. So it's. So hopefully this
it all comes
Peacemaker
from
too.
Like how good the viewership and the people's reviews of the shows are, and it's fantastic. And this episode has everything. Every once in a while, you'll watch an episode of a show and you think this is a perfect example of what this show can be. Like when we watch Doom Patrol, the zombies eating the asshole monsters is the perfect Doom Patrol episode.
Agreed.
It's perfect. It is. If you want to explain what the show is, he goes, there's so much to everything you're about to watch, but by itself, this is super fun. Watch this. I really feel like this episode may be the perfect Peacemaker episode because it gave you everything. It gave you the how far the government is in. It shows you the moment where they all become friends, but it alludes that they weren't friends before, but now they're becoming friends. It has extreme over-the-top violence. You realize that they're part of a bigger conspiracy with aliens. When they have to say that we can't report what we find to the government because someone above us will shut us down, and Peacemaker's like, it's the deep state. Like, it's not the deep state. Really? What is it? It's like, it's government officials who are above us, who are the public. Oh, shit. Like, that is such a great, like, it's that kind of, like, smart moment with the over-the-top violence of, like, shooting people with bugs in their brains and then fucking chainsawing a gorilla through the back because he's got a bug in it. Like, god damn it. It is everything. It is everything that is relatable in terms of, like, a group of people finding a common thing and becoming friends, to a group of people still having their own sense of agencies, and each one's doing their own thing in the back, whether they're building up walls or bringing walls down, whether they realize that certain relationships are stronger than family friendships, like seeing his dad flip on his son, but seeing people on the team getting closer to him, and then seeing Anabago's character set up the journal in his trailer. Like, there's so many moving parts, and you may not understand the intent of everything, but you understand look what's going on with all these characters. And then when the episode ends by her putting on Peacemaker's helmet and then seeing that their commander has a bug in his head and they're flipping around, it takes everything full circle and lets you know, hey, you know that weird conspiracy you saw at the beginning? It's next to you now. Like, all that shit is super interesting. And if you don't know what's going on, you're going to want to know. If you know what's going on, you were super excited about what's going to happen next. This was as great as episode 1 is. If you wanted to get someone into Peacemaker, episode 5 is where it's at.
Yeah, it's so good. It's better, and I like last week's, but it was a little step down from what we've seen, right? Which is fine, no big deal.
Right.
This one got right back on track.
They did a lot of story work,
right? Which is great. You need that, right? So yeah, you got to sacrifice. Something's got to go, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. This one just kind of brought it back to the irreverent humor. We know, over the top violence. So many cool, just funny, weird, ridiculous conversations that it's so much fun. This show is just pure fun, dude. That's what it is. You know, dude, it's not the deepest show, not the greatest show of all time, no, but it's just so much fucking fun, dude. I don't know what it is. I smile every time I see the show. I can't help it.
This show to me feels like what it feels like. The feeling this show gives me is hanging out with a bunch of, like, my childhood friends, and we're getting drunk and telling each other dirty jokes.
Yeah.
That's what it feels.
Ragging on each other, fucking around with. That's how it is.
Absolutely, It feels familiar, but it also has a sense of agency where everyone there is in the middle of something and they're dealing with it and they're trying the best they can. Some people have dark intents, some people have pure intents, but everyone is doing something for a reason, and it feels. But the feeling is no matter what, we're gonna have a good time, but we're gonna experience things, and it's exactly that. This was such a great episode. Any fears that you and me may have had about the series completely gone now. Now I'm in
good.
For the ride.
I think every episode is gonna be good. I mean, hopefully it ends well, fine, whatever. But I have no doubt. James Gunn clearly knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and he knows his character. He knows his show, and he knows what the show should be, and he makes it exactly what it should be. It's so good, and I think it's funny. I mean, obviously, it's got a lot of pot. I mean, a lot of people love this show, right? Who I talk to, and you can the vibes out there, right? Which is why I guess it's as popular as it is. And it's just, and it's weird because this show is. It's not a show I would say it's for everybody, right? Almost like Doom Patrol sense, right? It's not. But I know, maybe people gravitate to it for whatever reason. Maybe it's so different from what we see. And I mean, The Boys is the only thing that comes close. Well, obviously it's better, but
Right.
as far as going that extreme on the other direction, as opposed to like a Marvel, which plays it safe and it's good family oriented, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the show is like the pendulum swings the other way, where it's like, okay, there's something for those who have a taste for something that's just a little more raw, a little more over the top, violent. It's there.
It's a high school house party.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants to go have a good time. And that's what it is. It's just a fun show. I'm loving the show, dude. I can't wait till next week. And there's only 3 left, right? I think it's 8 total.
I think
8 total. Yeah.
Is it 6 or is it 8?
It's 8. It's 8. So there's 3 left.
Oh,
the last episode is on the 17th of February. So it's 3 weeks from now. So I wish it was longer. And I really hope they greenlit season 2. I hope we hear that soon enough, because
I hope.
It doesn't disappoint me. The show's so good. I really hate for this to be canceled. I really would.
Honestly, I hope not only do we get a season 2, but this ignites interest for the Suicide Squad Part 2. And
yeah, you're right. Agreed. Yeah.
You bring in Peacemaker, you bring in Ratcatcher, and you bring in Bloodsport, you bring in King Shark. You have those guys, and then you bring in like 15 other cannon fodder villains that you could just murder. And maybe like out of 15, 2 of them become the Peacemaker or the Polka Dot Man that you become enthralled with. But the rest just
I hope they. I mean, like I said, the first one was. I mean, the money they spent on the first one just didn't do well. Again, a lot of reasons and whatever, but. Maybe, I mean, who knows? And you can feature Peacemaker in now. I mean, he could be the draw, right? People know who he is. I mean, John Cena's a name, right? I mean,
before it was like John Cena and Idris Elba and Harley Quinn. That was the draw.
And let's be honest. I would say more Harley Quinn than anybody else.
She was top bill.
She was top bill, right? Yeah, and the marquee you put in Margot Robbie.
You didn't know who Idris Elba was, and you didn't know who John Cena was. You just knew Idris Elba and John Cena. So you have a popular character with a popular actress, and then you have just 2 name recognitions with no reference character. Now, if you do a Suicide Squad Part 2, you're gonna be like, oh shit, it's Harley Quinn and Peacemaker. Like
right,
it is.
Peacemaker may be the draw.
It may be the draw. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like if Margot Robbie didn't want to come back for the Suicide Squad 2,
that's fine.
You're like, cool. Is John Cena still in?
Right.
If he is. Yes. You're locked.
Like you're like, I don't want to see it without him. I'm not saying he's the greatest thing of all time, but he works so well in this, and he's proven he can carry a show.
He can carry a show, and he carries a show that builds a world, and you're all in on that world.
Yeah. Absolutely. So why not make it? So yeah, this is good news for DC fans. You know, DC always needs a win.
They needed a win. They needed a win.
And well, you know, with 2 in a row, I count Suicide Squad as a win as far as I'm concerned.
You're absolutely right. I saw that.
Right. So Peacemaker. I mean, yeah, it's same world, but different show. And it worked, right? I think this is probably the biggest mainstream show is this, right? The other ones have been what came out on the app. Really more for DC hardcore fans. It's probably, I would assume, has gotten more attention from the casual fan.
This is the first HBO Max TV series made for. It wasn't like we made this a movie and made all this extra footage, and now we're gonna make a bigger movie. Right, yeah. Like it wasn't anything about. It's like we just made this for this.
Right, and
it works really well.
It does, home run. So good for them. That's really good. I hope that just helps DC's credibility. I hope they can maintain it because we got 3 movies. We got 3 movies coming out, so hopefully they're all good. And okay, let's ride the wave here, right?
All I'm saying is, if The Rock as Black Adam doesn't have a sex scene where he yells Shazam as he finishes on a girl, then I'm sorry, it's no longer a good movie. I want my money back. Mr. Ketchup, you have gone bad.
See, I could see John Cena doing that as Peacemaker, just saying Shazam for the sake of it. I don't know. And oh, by the way, I love all the '80s rock shit. It's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, all in.
Come on,
all in.
Come on. Yeah. It's just come on. That sells it. It just typifies who he is. So, but yeah, look, great show, man. It's just, you have to, if you haven't seen the show, damn, get on it. It's just I don't know what to tell you.
If you don't know, if you're like, I don't know, if you're on the fence before you watch episode 1, watch episode 5, and you're gonna be all in. You're gonna go back. I gotta see all this now, and you just
exactly.
Great.
Just watch the intro. Best intro on TV.
You're absolutely right.
That's
Best
it.
Intro, like I heard it said somewhere. I forget which YouTube channel I watched, and I don't want to say I came up with anything, but they nailed this, which is they said. The thing about the intro is that the intro is the spirit of the show. It's people doing ridiculous things while looking entirely serious while doing it. I'm like, that is the show.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and it works. It's, like I said, on paper, probably doesn't work. It does, like Doom Patrol on paper.
They made it. So obviously it works on paper.
It works.
But it works even better watching it.
Yeah, but Doom Patrol the same way, right? Show that you probably this
Yeah.
it's not gonna. This just sounds stupid, but it works. It works.
It works in the comics, but and the show works because it's so loyal to the source material, and Grant Morrison is one of those writers where like if I told you what his idea was, it sounds stupid, and then you read it like, oh, this totally plays, and that's how it works across the board.
Yeah, this one does too. So kudos to them, and it's 3 left. I hope they're all good. I'm not even worried about letdown. I really am not. I'm more worried about Boba Fett. For just
you know what, you're right. I'm more worried about Boba Fett sticking the landing as opposed to Peacemaker. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah,
like,
I'm expecting something cool. I have no doubt. I hope so. I don't want to get overhyped, but I mean, listen, it's hard not to when they give you
the
good
greatest
stuff.
ending that changes the game.
No.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe set up a part two. Yeah, as long as I said I don't want to see kind of a cliffhanger thing. I get that annoys me. Just finish the story and set up a new one. That's all you got to do, right?
That's all you got to do.
You know, I don't want to see and whatever. I don't want to see like someone's about to get killed and they cut off. I don't want to see that. So whatever. But yeah, other than that, I think it's gonna be
all I'm saying is I don't know what kind of reboot the Flash movie is gonna do, but keep this. Keep this. Like this.
Oh yeah, don't
part.
Don't fuck with that. There. Shame on Flash if it does. I don't think it will. It's not going to. Obviously, they're not gonna fuck with this. If this didn't do well, then yeah, they can erase all Suicide Squad, from, the first in particular, but whatever, and I get it, but they're not doing that.
If they have a part that remove this, just cut that part from the movie.
Put it next to the Anna de Armas scene from yesterday, and just let someone try to sue. That's all I'm saying.
It all got worked from this, but it's fine. We're good.
But that being said, those are the nuggets, and that is the show.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into Nerdsplaining. We appreciate all the views you guys do. Thank you so much for following us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram at NerdsplainingPod. You can follow us on Twitter at Nerdsplaining_. You can see all our videos on YouTube here on the Latin Nerd Network, as well as shows as The Watch List and Thanos' Choice. We're planning to do more shows, and the more people keep watching the show and liking and subscribing, it helps us to produce more. So please keep tell your friends about it. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Challenge us on our theories and questions. We're here for all of that. Guys, if you want to hear the original audio episodes of Nerdsplaining, go to ericdasilva.com. You can hear all the original audio episodes. And while you're there, buy my album, Adorably Offensive. It's an hour of a comedy that you can share with friends and family. It's a few years old. I'm not going to lie. I think next year will be the 10-year anniversary. It's timeless. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. It feels like it was recorded today because the issues are real, mostly about me making a lot of mistakes and being drunk. So enjoy that as well. And guys, as always, this has been Nerdsplaining. I have been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Peace.